Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Super Duper Football Show. Today we will be doing a tier ranking list for all of the running backs in the NFL. So let's get it started. So, first running back, I think this is Jamal Williams. I mean, he's just a backup. He's not bad, but I'll put him below average just because he's a backup. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think this is LSU, yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I would put him in average. He's kind of like a rising star. I mean, at the point he's at right now, we don't know if he's elite or if he's going to be bad. As of now, it looks like he'll be pretty good. So I'll put him in average for now. I do not know who this is, unfortunately. Put him in unknown. I don't know who this is either. Interesting. Don't know who that is. Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is, oh man, I wish there was a category between these two. Melvin Gordon is a little bit underrated. He can do a lot of things with the ball when you give him the ball. I'll put him in average, but I think he deserves a little bit more than average. Tevin Coleman, I mean, he's not much better than below average. There's nothing more that he's done to prove that. Marlon Mack, when he was playing, he was really good. He was above average. But with the injuries and such, he has to go in average, unfortunately. Now, especially with Jonathan Taylor as emerging as the number one option in Indianapolis. I think this is Matt Breida. Matt Breida's, again, below average, just a backup to Myles Gaskin at this point. Which, Myles Gaskin I didn't see on this list before. So, Myles Gaskin I would put average. Just needs to prove a little bit more. James White, he's also, I mean, I wish there was a category between these two. I'll put him in average. He's not really below average. He's not bad, but he'll do for some time. Big Truz, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram at this point he's below average. He used to be pretty good. He used to be between these two. Now he's below average, a little bit washed up at this point. Todd Gurley is still young. He's either 25, 26, maybe 27. I think he's 26 though. I think he's average. He just needs to prove a little bit more. He's still a free agent as of now. If he gets signed, which the Rams, it's funny that the Rams are looking for, running back depth at this point, with the Cam Akers injury. So, I mean, they have a few options. They got Todd Gurley, they got Adrian Peterson, they got Frank Gore in free agency. I would go with the more experienced person with Adrian Peterson, especially when he said he wants to sign with a Super Bowl contender. And Todd Gurley is still fine. He'll work. DeAndre Swift, I think this is. DeAndre Swift, he did pretty good last year. I think he'll go in average also. If he can prove just a little bit more, in the coming few years, he'll go here. Maybe even here, you never know. Chris Carson is definitely above average. He's a really good receiving back. He's underrated. Chris Carson is pretty underrated. And he's kind of like a power back type too. A power back, receiving back, when you got those two, you're pretty good. Ronald Jones, just average. He can do the job for you. He's not bad by any means, but he's just not quite the best running back. Zeke is, I don't know why, but he's been regressing since the past few years. I'll put him above average. He's still not bad. He just needs to have a bounce back here and prove to everybody that he's still got some stuff left in the tank. Le'Veon Bell, he used to be fine now, below average. I don't want to put him in trash, but I'll put him in below average, not that great. Nick Chubb, borderline elite. He's extremely underrated. He's like Derrick Henry Jr. if you will, you know. I mean, he's such a powerful running back. It's not even a Browns game if he doesn't go off for a run of more than 70 yards per game. So that's good for him. He's really good. Jonathan Taylor is above average. In just 1 year, he proved that he is very, very good. I was lucky enough to have him in fantasy last year, and he propelled me to the championship game. So, good job, JT. Thanks. This is Jordan Howard. He's been bouncing across practice squads. I'll just put him in trash because, you know, he kind of is trash. Not much better than that. Darius Juice or Geis. I don't know. He was maybe I think a second round pick or a third round pick. I don't know about this one. I'll just put him in trash. He hasn't played a lot at all, so barely has any experience in the NFL. Philip Lindsay, below average, but he's not bad. He's not trash. I think you can at this point you can compare James White and Philip Lindsay, and they'd be like similar. So I think James White would actually be in below average as of now. He's not bad, but at this point he's not very. After that Super Bowl with the Patriots, he just hasn't been the same. So Leonard Fournette. I mean, I know all about playoff Lenny, okay? I saw it last year with the Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette. I guess I'll just put him with his buddy here, Ronald Jones. Average. I mean, he's not a receiving back, that's for sure. But as a pure power back, especially in the playoffs, he'll get the job done for you. Alright, next up is James Conner. James Conner, just average. Maybe a little bit even below average. He hasn't done anything to prove that he's anything above average at this point. Not really. I mean, he'll start at Arizona. Maybe he'll even split carries with Chase Edmonds, who isn't on this list somehow. But yeah, I don't think he's much better than average. Adrian Peterson, one of the greatest running backs of all time. At this point, he's below average. It's not like he can't get the job done. He's still pretty good. He'll work for you. If you really need an option, Adrian Peterson would be a decent option for you. I think this is Alexander Madison, Dalvin Cook's backup. I'll just put him in here. Trash. He's not trash. I mean, the few times I've seen him play, he's been pretty good. So, yeah. Darrell Williams again, just Clyde CEH's backup. Almost won the Super Bowl MVP. I remember that time, but otherwise he's not that good. David Montgomery, he's a rising star. He was above average late last season, started to pop off, and if he can prove that he's a quality running back this year, then I think that he'll solidify his spot in this category here. Austin Eckler, borderline elite, one of the best receiving backs in the league, no doubt about it. As a pure runner, he can improve a little bit, but it's not like he can't get the job done. He had an injury, of course, last year, but even when he wasn't injured, he showed that he was good on Austin Eckler, the receiving back, the reliable option. So, Austin Eckler, borderline elite. Joe Mixon is very, very underrated. he deserves a spot here. Whenever he plays, he is borderline elite skill. He can be a receiving back if you want him to be one. Whenever you need him to be one. And as a pure runner, I'd say he's one of the best in the league. Joe Mixon's got so much talent. If he can just stay healthy, then the Bengals will have their future set at running back. Saquon Barkley, here we go. Elite. The first elite running back out of all of them. Of course, had the ACL tear this season. Unfortunately, went down with that bad injury. But I think if Saquon bounces back this year, he'll solidify his spot right there. And based on what we've seen the past few years out of this man, he's looking like he's already looking like a Hall of Famer to me, at least. He's really incredible talent. Miles Sanders, I don't know. He can be above average some games, and some games he can be trash. I'll put him in average. I mean, he's not bad by any means. I mean, he burnt the Saints last year, of course, with the 80-yard run. I think he's right there with all these players. He's a little bit better than these players, I think. He's on par with Melvin Gordon, I'd say. Christian McCaffrey, no doubt, elite. Arguably the best running back in the entire NFL. And there's no arguing. You can't argue about that. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, let me pull up these stats real quick. I mean, he's already blossoming into one of the best running backs ever. Christian McCaffrey, see his statistics. As a pure runner, this is. Of course, this didn't play much in his rookie year. 435 rushing yards. He had 80 receptions for 650 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. That's pretty great for a running back, I'd say. In 2018, 1,100 yards. 1,100 yards rushing, average 5 yards per carry. By far his best year, I'd say this was. As a runner and as a receiver, like, balanced out, it was probably one of his best years. 7 touchdowns on the ground, 6 touchdowns in the air. Now, 2019, he was incredible. Almost 1,400 yards, 4.8 per carry, 15 rushing touchdowns, and 1,000 receiving yards for a running back. Are you kidding me? I mean, this Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey, basically the same guy when it comes to receiving. 4 touchdowns over the air. I mean, of course, the injury year last year, but he is one of the best running backs in the league. Josh Jacobs, borderline elite. He could improve. He could improve as a receiving back, of course, but as a pure runner, he is great. He's got the power. He's even got the elusiveness, you know. And he'll be a great option for the Raiders. Alvin Kamara, elite. There's no way around it. He's just a He's not just a receiving back, but he's a very great receiving back. Just like these two, just like McCaffrey and Eckler. He'll never let you down with his hands, and he'll pull off some great runs for you also. Raheem Mostert, I don't know, I mean, I want to say below average, but just because he was the starter last year, I'll say he's average. He's not bad, but I mean, and he's extremely fast. If you didn't know that, but yeah, otherwise he's just average. Derrick Henry, the king, 2,000 rushing yards. Are you kidding me? I mean, you can't beat 2,000 rushing yards. Rushing leader. Obviously not much of a receiving back, but if you see his couple catches, he'll be fine if you throw the ball to him. But I mean, of course, how could you say Derrick Henry is not elite? One of, if not the best running back in the league. Number 2 Ohio State, that would be J.K. Dobbins. Rising star, average as of now. If he proves more to us, then he'll probably propel his way up. Tariq Cohen, below average. David Montgomery starting to take the reins in Chicago. Isn't Tariq Cohen a free agent? I thought that Tariq Cohen. Whoa. Most recently, I thought he was a free agent, or is he not? He isn't. Okay. Well, either way, he's not the starter for the Bears, of course. So I think he's below average at this point. Sony Michel, just the same. Not really serving a real purpose for the Patriots anymore. They got Damien Harris. Of course, same with James White. James White, Sony Michel, both behind Damien Harris. Damien Harris is younger, has a little bit of a higher ceiling. I think their time is slowly wrapping up. Aaron Jones. I'll have to put him in elite. He's great running back. Very good. He's got the talent. Just like Nick Chubb, he can break out for 70, 80-yard runs whenever. And he's a reliable receiving option as well. Devin Singletary, average. He hasn't been putting up any numbers. He did average about 5 yards, more than 5 yards per carry in his rookie season, though. Other than that, not much to show for. Kareem Hunt, he's above average. Even when splitting carries with Nick Chubb, if you can put up the kind of production that Kareem Hunt is putting up while splitting, let me show you this. This was from splitting with Nick Chubb. 200 attempts, 840 yards, 4.2 yards per carry, 6 rushing touchdowns, even 300 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. If you can put those type of numbers up with splitting carries with one of the best running backs in the league, then you're pretty good at what you do, is what I'd say. Kenyon Drake, average, pretty average running back. He'll get the job done for you. Now he's splitting carries with Josh Jacobs. I think he'll get a little bit less carries than Josh Jacobs, that's for sure. And finally, to finish off the list, David Johnson, below average. He's not going to work for the Texans anymore. Washed up, a little bit old at this point, and I don't think he's a long-term option. And that's it, guys. That's my 2021 running back tier ranking list. Please like the video if you enjoyed this tier ranking list, and subscribe for more videos in the future, and hit that bell icon so you can get notified whenever we post one of our cool videos. Alright, have a great day, peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.